I would call it work product, not secret testing, but Will and I have different terminology for things sometimes.
That's why it's called a secret.
All right, this is the time set for a special master hearing in the consolidated cases. What we're calling the lead cases, Wren versus Affinity, case number A-21-831169-B. My name's Floyd Hale. I'm the special master, and we're just going through a status hearing on discovery scheduling. So I did receive the joint proposed agenda, council, which is, it was identical to mine except for one letter that I received from Mr. Kemp regarding bank statements. So let's go through the agenda that was requested. And I don't know, Joel, if you're the most appropriate person to tell us the status of amended complaint.
So we've stipulated to all the.
You're Mr. Joel Odou?
Joel Odou for Real Water. We have stipulated with Will Kemp's office for any complaints they've sought to amend and have started answering I think we've answered all of them, but if there are any answers outstanding, we'll make sure we get those. I think that's what's going on our end, but I'm sure Will can speak to other parties.
I've been informed there's a couple other parties that are not coming back to us with the stip. Brianna on here?
Yeah, this is Brianna Switzler for the Kemp Plaintiffs. We've recently submitted 4 of the stipulations in order to amend that. We've received all of the signatures from the defendants. We are waiting on all the rest of them to give us permission to amend. So we have 4 out of the 9 or 10 that we're amending.
And can anyone tell me how many cases do we have pending, whether they're in our consolidated or not?
So
Joel,
Joel
Odou.
So Joel Odou for Real Water. We have a total of whether they are stayed or not. And there are some cases that are still stayed, that the stay is being lifted. 25 litigated Nevada cases, whether they're in federal court or state court. I think all but one are now in state court, and one case is in arbitration.
And when you say 25 litigated, is that 25 cases?
Cases.
How many plaintiffs?
I believe there are 64, but I am going from memory, 64, 67, something like that.
Okay. And so I take it, plaintiff's counsel, you're continuing to move forward unopposed on the amended complaints, so you don't need me to do anything on that, do you?
Not at this time, but like I already said, some of these people just aren't getting back to us, whether it's summer vacation or what. But I mean, weeks go by, we send them emails over and over again.
Are you talking about defendants? Or?
Yeah, defendants.
But you don't have opposition?
No, nobody's opposed it. It's just been a matter of rousing them and getting their attention.
Well, maybe we can wrap it up. At some point, if you want to send me a motion for a recommendation that the court authorize the amendments, since although requested to be stipulated, you haven't got signed stipulations, but there's no opposition, I'll probably give people 7 days to oppose, and then I'll submit the recommendation, so we tie that up.
Okay, great.
All right. And I hate to have this as a second item because I don't know what it's about.
2, we served discovery on Hannah, and
What is Hannah? Is that
Hannah is what we contend to be the secret manufacturer of the meter, effective meter in this case. But in any event, it was due yesterday, and I don't know if it came in or didn't come in, to be honest. It might have come in late yesterday. So we just put it on here for just to give everyone a status.
Who's their counsel? Are they in the meeting?
Yeah, I'm here. Jason Weig here. I'll talk to Michael Nunez. Michael's preparing for trial. See what's going on with him. I'll get an answer. Get it out today.
All right.
And on a related note, we gave Milwaukee another 3 weeks. Theirs was due and they asked for an extension, so we gave them 3 more weeks till sometime, I think the first week of September. I may be off a bit.
Well, I'm just allowing the plaintiff's attorneys to run that unless I get a motion. It sounds like everyone's still cooperating. The next item concerned the medical records, and I did get a chart today, this morning, of plaintiff compliance.
Yeah. Medical records and the fact sheets are two different things. Fact sheets we're trying to get, we were shooting for 15, but I think we got 13. But we're trying to get those filed on Friday, and we didn't get filed on Friday, we didn't get filed yesterday. I think they're being filed as we speak, or they've been filed. We had a problem on date stamping, so the fact sheets ought to be out. I think the medical records have already been produced to Hale prior to that time. And on the computation of damages, we're trying to address that better in the fact sheets. You know, a lot of these people have theoretical damages claims because they were in the hospital for 4 days, but we don't think we're going to pursue them. But until you get the client authority to drop it, we don't want to drop it.
And I assume the questionnaires, the medical authorizations are on about the same track.
Well, the authorizations are actually a little behind because we didn't get them till 10 days to 2 weeks ago, and we'd already met with a lot of the clients on the fact sheet, so we're having to redo them. And as I understand it, there's a CDC authorization and a Southern Nevada Health District authorization, which we have no problem signing. But I don't think it's going to be really useful except for 2 or 3 cases, because based on our review of the records, they didn't examine all the plaintiff's cases. They just looked at a couple of them. So we're trying to expedite the Wren case and the death case and a couple other cases that we think they may have actually looked at, the governmental authorities, to get those to finish right away. And the rest we'll get to when we can.
All right. Ms. Eglet, how are you coming on your discovery with fact sheets and questionnaires and authorizations?
I think we have everything. We have our client coming in tomorrow. We have her set up for a meeting to sign authorization, so we should be able to get those off tomorrow after she signs them. But I think we're pretty up to date, right, Danielle?
Yeah, we've already submitted our questionnaire. There were 2 pages missing, pages 10 and 11. The reason those are missing is because on page 10, our client's not asserting a lost wage claim, and then page 11 was just instructions, but we've submitted those last 2 pages.
Well, you're not on a 2-day time schedule, so just keep moving forward. And as we have hearings, I'm not getting motions to compel, so I know everyone's working toward it. I'm just asking in these hearings so we all get kind of a report of the status as of today of the day of the hearing. So I appreciate that. And for those of you that may not have noticed, Spurlock sent a letter this morning that has a chart of plaintiff's compliance. So you might want to look for that if you haven't seen it already, recorded in the Wren case. And then I guess the next item we have covers the testing protocol.
Yeah, Floyd, Joel, for rural water, before we get there, there are a couple of cases not on the chart, but we are working with plaintiffs' counsel on those cases to get authorizations and or fact sheets done, and have traded emails even right before this hearing started.
Okay.
All
right, I'm just going to let you run the procedure on that and let me know if you need my involvement, fine. If you're all working together, that you don't need my involvement.
Thanks.
And so do you still think we need a hearing about every 2 or 3 weeks?
Not so far on any of the issues. I think the next issue is one that
No, I just mean just a general status hearing in 2 or 3 weeks anyway.
I don't. Certainly would defer to other counsel if they think we do.
Okay. Well, let me finish here. So I'm assuming then that covers everything but the testing protocol. So are there how close are we to getting a testing protocol approved? Is it still being routed?
Eric's handling that, and he's not here because he's covered that position. But as I understand it, there's a couple of little minor issues that he thinks we can get resolved pretty easily. But there appears to be one major issue, which I call the secret testing issue. The defendants have proposed that under some circumstances, they can do testing and not report the results to us. And we don't think that's cricket. And so what I was going to suggest is that we be allowed to brief it and file opposition to their brief, and that you make a decision, because I don't think we're going to be able to come to an agreement on that.
Hey, Floyd, this
And I
is,
take it plaintiffs don't want to do any testing that's not revealed for consultants or something?
Well, all of our testing is on stuff that's in our joint warehouse, so we have to give them notice, so they'll know we're doing testing. If, and I don't want to kind of add a beverage, but let's say they have 10 cases of water somewhere, they can send out secretly and test, and, out of the 10 cases, 9 of them, they find out there's terrible stuff in them, but one of them's looked good, so they deep six the 9 and we get the 1. That's our fundamental objection,
So I assume I'll read that in your brief. If
Yes.
it's not a resolution.
Yes. Yeah, but everything else I think we've agreed to. I think the non-destructive testing protocol, I don't think there's a problem.
Well, we'll again follow up with the next hearing on that. And did you work out the Castillo?
Schedule on the testing protocol?
No, I don't think you're there yet, are you?
Yeah, I think we're at the point. Schedule.
Floyd, this is Jim Neale for UNFI. We're down to one issue. I would call it work product, not secret testing, but Will and I have different terminology for things sometimes.
That's why it's called a secret. He calls it work.
All right.
And
So who wants to go first? Will, I guess you'll do a motion to compare.
Do you want us to just do the opening brief, have them do an opposition?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm maybe 10 days.
All right, do your opening brief. I won't give you the exact time, but you do the opening brief. The opposition will be due 10 days later, and the reply another 10 days. And if the two of you need to change that schedule, you have 100% authority to do it with agreement. Just email me and let me know what it is.
Thank you.
So did you get that 10 days?
Yeah.
Both? All right. I'm not going to bother with an order. It's probably in the case management order, I think.
Okay.
All right. And then Castillo Depot got reset.
Yeah, we can do that day.
Okay. The only other thing I have that I thought we were going to table, but now that Will's here, we can probably cover is the, let me dig out your August 12 letter on the bank records on that Bonar case.
Yeah, well, here's the problem, Floyd.
Who's on the other side of that?
Will, you might not have seen my email. This is Colt Dodrill, Nevada Bar number 9000,
Well, that's-
Council of Nevada Beverage. I don't think that there's anything ripe for special master intervention at this point. I talked with Eric yesterday and I thought about it. There's really no question pending in terms of the information that I was seeking through that. And we've got bigger fish to fry with the testing protocol, get the water tested, get the fact sheets that we talked about, do any follow-up discovery. And then there's still this issue as to how they manage to buy real water from a store that doesn't carry it. So I think we just table this till it comes up.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see, I thought we were going to table it anyway because Will was in court, but so I'll leave it on a continuing agenda, but unless I hear from the two of you, I'll assume it's worked out.
All right, thank you.
Well, thanks for your cooperation. Makes this case a lot easier. Looking through. All right, that covered the agenda items that I had and I think that you had. Are we missing anything?
Now that I know.
This is Ariana Reed, Campbell and Williams on behalf of the carrier plaintiffs. We have not received a plaintiff's question or fact sheet. Is that going around? I may have missed it.
We'll serve it. Joel will do for real water. We'll serve it.
Great, thank you.
Anyone else?
This is Jake Smith for Plaintiff Vinciletti. I have a couple of 5-gallon drums of water that my client had, and I've been storing them in my office. I just wonder if there's some sort of repository where we're supposed to deposit those, or if I should just hold on to those for now.
Yeah, he can, if you tag them and deliver them to our office, Kemp Jones, attention to Pat Stoppard, we'll see that it goes out to the joint warehouse. But we'd ask that you tag them with the name of the plaintiff, the date, and any other identifying thing.
All right, will do. And you say attention, Pat Stoddard?
Stoppard, Stoppard.
Got it. Thanks.
And you probably ought to do a cover letter and maybe copy Joel with it. And that way keep track of got what.
Yeah, we're listing water that we have, like there was some water obtained during the Mesa inspection. We'll be listing that on our notice of compliance. It's currently being stored still in Arizona with an expert. But it'll be listed. What we have, we've got photos, and it'll be on the next notice.
You got pictures of the water?
Pictures of the water.
All right, and for those of you that may not have been in the case that long, remember, everything you e-serve or e-file needs to get filed or served in the Wren case. I know these aren't actually consolidated, but it makes it a lot easier for your offices and for me to make sure we don't miss something. Otherwise, we'll be checking 12 cases a day. Well, if that's we were having hearings as often as every 2 to 3 weeks.
I think having them every 3 or 4 weeks is good, just because it keeps the ball moving. And then there's a lot of people, like we send them stuff, fact sheets and stuff. Maybe they don't understand what we're sending them, but unless they're actually at a hearing, they don't realize it's something they're supposed to be doing something. So I think it's a good idea for at least the beginning.
Joel, to do for real water, I would propose that we meet again in mid-September. We are feverishly going through documents that we produced, and there is a lot of documents. We have 14,000, not pages, files. And each of those documents have multiple pages. So we are doing our best to get that production done. And that is just the Henderson documents. The Mesa documents are 4 times larger.
Was the Mesa facility larger or no bigger?
It was larger in size, and for whatever reason, there were more pages of documents there. And so I've got 3 paralegals practically working full-time, trying to index this stuff, and it's taking a long time.
All right, so I'll set a hearing. You'll get a separate notice, of course, and it will be in mid-September.
Jason Power for Walgreens. Can I just ask one question real quick?
Who was that?
Jason Fowler for Walgreens Co. On the, are we still waiting on Halo or Hollow to be able to filter the documents so that, we only see medical, et cetera, from our plaintiffs and the plaintiffs we're adverse to? Or is the delay on the information sheet solely just because it's taking time to get the information together?
Well, I think Holo, of course, is set up for it. Where they are on doing the subdirectories, I don't know.
I thought that was done. I thought it was done a couple weeks ago.
What's that?
It's done for what we've seen.
Yeah, I believe it's done too. I talked to the owner of Holo, it had to be a month ago. And I haven't heard there's any problem. Have you experienced a problem trying to locate something?
When we went into it, we couldn't find we just didn't find anything there, but I just thought it hadn't been deposited yet. It sounds like, those sheets are still, the sheets are what I'm really interested in. It sounds like they're still being prepared, so.
Yeah, Jason, why don't you call Eric tomorrow? Because I'm pretty sure, especially the case you're in, that everything would be in there.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and this is Brianna Switzler. Apparently there was some miscommunication. If you email realwater@holo-discovery.com, and their email is on the service list, if you haven't already emailed them to tell them what case you're allowed access to, you might have a delay in information. So as long as you reach out to them with your name, the case you're involved in, and what plaintiffs you think you need the information for, then they'll open up that subdirectory for you. So you just need to contact Holo if you haven't already. And then the plaintiff fact sheets, as we speak, are being filed.
Great.
Hi, this is Colt Dodrill, counsel for Nevada Beverage. There's also a different link. When they created the private subdirectories, it's under a new link. So if you're using the old link, it's not going to work. And contact Holo, and they'll get you a new link with and you'll set up a login, and that you should be able to see it.
Cole, can you send out a letter or something with that link? E-serve it?
Sure, I'll put something together after this.
All right, thank you.
Excuse me, Floyd, Tracy here. We have our amended complaint that's outstanding, and we were I guess having it served. And I just wanted to let defense counsel know that we were going to call and ask to see if you will just accept service so we don't need to go through that process. If there's anyone who, I mean, I don't know, is that inappropriate to ask as we sit here?
It's not. So what we'll do for Real Water and Affinity Lifestylesinc.com, I can accept service of those two entities.
Yeah.
And Tracy, on behalf of you, this is Jim Neale on behalf of UNFI and Whole Foods. We have a answer in the works. I think we plan to serve it in the next day or two. There's no need for you to serve process on those two entities.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys asked for an extension, United did, and I believe Affinity's already answered.
I mean, I'm sorry, Floyd, are you okay if I ask, is there anyone who would have a problem with accepting service?
Tracy, this is Colt, Dodrill, counsel for Nevada Beverage. Are you suing my client?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, thank you. As I've not been retained yet, but I would circulate that if necessary to.
All right.
Yeah, this is Jason Wig for Hannah. I've emailed and asked for authority to accept service or process. So as soon as I get that, I will absolutely say yes.
Thank
you. Elizabeth Lowell from Milwaukee. I think we tried to contact you to say we would like to accept service.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you all. Sorry. Thanks.
Oh, thanks, counsel. We appreciate the cooperation. All right, anything else?
This is
All right.
Ariana. Ariana, counsel for the plaintiff carrier plaintiffs. I just wanted to clarify. So on Mr. Spurlock's status, we were not listed. I just wanted to give you a quick update that we have submitted our list of healthcare providers, all of our medical records. We have submitted our commutation of damages. We are not seeking lost wages. And we are currently in the process of obtaining our authorization forms and getting those filled out by our clients.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'll set the hearing around mid-September. We can do it after September 23, but you'll have to meet me in Mexico.
That's fair. That's fair.
Deal.
Whereabouts?
Outside of Puerto Vallarta. All right, thanks, everyone. And the notice will go out probably by tomorrow. And we do serve them in the various cases, but the lead case that the notice will go out in is Wren. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.